Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille show. It's good to be with you. It is Thursday, November 5th, 2020. Slowly, we're putting this election behind us. Slowly, we are shifting our focus forward as we head into Thanksgiving, Christmas, and into New Year's in what we hope is a better year of 2021. A lot to cover on today's show. Expectations for holiday travel in and around Charlottesville and Central Virginia, and from a macro standpoint across the country. We will talk about this topic with André Xavier of many businesses, CVille Hop-On Tours, Charlottesville Travel. André Xavier is very experienced in this space. We will welcome him to the program in about 19 minutes to not only talk travel on the show, but to talk Charlottesville 2021, travel and tourism, and surviving the winter months. Kelly Jackson will join us on the program for 5 Big Things with KJ, the co-star of Women Changing Our World. How awkward has it been asking a family member to get a COVID test before coming to the house for the holidays? I think we all are about to be in this situation. Whether we choose to leave our homes, maybe we get in our car, maybe we take a short trip of some capacity to family. Maybe this trip over Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's Eve to visit family is done crossing state lines. What are the family expectations? Who should be COVID tested? Should the results be shared? The actual results be shared and not just word of mouth results passed from one family member to each other? Do you consider hotels for a bubble scenario and then do the family events outside? Here's a particular situation that came up with my wife. She's the maid of honor at a wedding that's currently being planned, and she's in charge with planning the bachelorette party. Well, the bachelorette party has ladies from many different states: New York, Connecticut, Virginia. And they're trying to figure out where to go to celebrate a best friend's nuptials. One of the ideas that's being thrown around is the use of hotel rooms almost as pods. Individuals get their own hotel rooms, and then all the events for the bachelorette are done outside. And then people get ready in their pods, their hotel rooms, sleep in their pods, their hotel rooms, and interact with the bachelorette party in outside setting activities, eating, dining, fun, music, the entire bachelorette. So is that what travel is going to look like in the winter months without a vaccine and without truly ubiquitous rapid testing? If we go visit family, will we ask for the tests? Will we stay in the basement bedroom, or will we stay in the hotel and do the family functions outside? We'll talk about that with Kelly Jackson on today's program. We have a true real estate inventory shortage. And by inventory shortage, a shortage that we have not seen for a long period of time in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. We'll get some insight from the distinguished gentleman, Keith Smith, on this statistic here. Are you ready? Listen closely, please, because this impacts your livelihood, your career, your future. Here's the statistic. The inventory of homes for sale in the Charlottesville-Albemarle market, the Central Virginia market, remains persistently low and continues to shrink rapidly. There were 925 active listings at the end of the third quarter. That is a decrease of 47% from Q3 2019. How does an inventory shortage? Homes not on the market for sale, homes not being sold, impact Charlottesville, Central Virginia, in our economy. I'll take a deep dive into that topic today on the I Love CVille show. You saw that Virginia-Louisville game was postponed due to COVID and a breakout amongst the Louisville football team. That game was scheduled for Saturday, a few days from now. Now it's going to be to be made up the following Saturday on November 14th. Here's the question. If Louisville, which had multiple players out this past Saturday against Virginia Tech, if Louisville cannot field a healthy team on November 14th, the makeup day for the UVA game. Will this game be postponed altogether? Canceled, I guess is what that means, because neither Louisville nor UVA are in the ACC Championship hunt. We'll talk that topic on the I Love CVille show. Clemson and Notre Dame, number 1 against number 4, Saturday night, 7:30, NBC, big-time football game that could be a 1.0 version of the ACC Championship, or Clemson could push Notre Dame down the ACC standings. Remember, winning percentage determines who is going to appear in the ACC Championship. Clemson's looking very, very good right now. Judah, let's give some love to Interstate Pest and Service Companies, truly a home's best friend. Interstate Pest and Service Companies, 4 generations of family. Interstate Pest and Service Companies, over 50 years of proudly serving Charlottesville and Central Virginia with honesty, with integrity, doing business the right way by their customers and their team members alike. The lead of our show is the expectations for holiday travel. You will see these headlines everywhere in a matter of, I'd say, about a week. Why you will see these headlines in about a week is because the news cycle of the mainstream media is still very much consumed with the U.S. presidential election. Once the U.S. presidential election gets behind us, and we're seeing it slowly getting behind us, the mainstream media will change its focus, and the news cycle will shift to managing COVID, to working our way to rapid testing, and eventually a vaccine in 2021. As that news cycle pivots, which is the word of 2020, another storyline or trend you will see in the cycle is holiday travel over Thanksgiving, Christmas, Jewish holiday, New Year's Eve, whatever it may be. Thanksgiving is first. What can we expect from holiday travel? How many folks can we expect to visit Charlottesville and Central Virginia from various different states? How many individuals from Charlottesville and Central Virginia are going to leave our community for a few short days and then come back after visiting a state like Connecticut that's having a surge in COVID? There's many reasons why we should be concerned, trepid, or offer a second thought to holiday travel. What are you going to do with folks that are visiting from other states and asking for a COVID test? In our particular house, over Thanksgiving, we have my in-laws, my wife's mother, father, and her brother coming to our respective domain. My wife, she is very cautious, very family first, and full of a lot of love, and she herself is going to get COVID testing. And she's also going to ask our in-laws, brother-in-law, to also get COVID tested. So they're New Yorkers, they're very frank and to the point, and the conversation is, we'll get tested, we'll share the results, and then everyone will have peace of mind. My wife says, Jerry, we sleep next to each other in the bed. My test will determine you and our son. We're going to do it at a CVS or a Doc in a Box, and we're going to do it about a week before the Thanksgiving holiday. On top of that, she's going to stay a little more bunkered down because her parents are visiting. They're older. And the week before they visit, she's going to hunker and bunker down a little bit in the house. Tighten the pod a little bit more. What are you going to do for Thanksgiving? What can we expect from an economic boost from Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's Eve in our community? Can we even expect a bump in the economy from Q4 holiday travel in Charlottesville or Central Virginia? Many questions that are important to all of us. I explained to you that Albemarle County, in its fiscal year 2021 budget, it's cutting $800,000 off its budget. Now you'll say, Jerry, this is a budget of roughly $400 million. What's $800K? What's $800,000 on a $400 million budget? Well, it's safe to say that the budget 21 verse 20 is going to be more because we need more PPP or PPE to fight this COVID and this pandemic. We're having to do things more out of pocket from an unexpected nature of running a municipality than a pandemic than ever before. And that uncertainty, that unexpected nature of running a municipality makes running the municipality more expensive during a pandemic. So when operating costs increase, but working budget decreases, you should be concerned. We need, in a lot of ways, Q4 to go well for this community, with folks hitting the Omni, with folks hitting Keswick Hall or the Clifton Inn, the breweries, the wineries, the hotels. But the health-conscious aspect of me wonders if that's going to keep us in a snowball effect with this COVID thing in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. That's why we'll welcome André Xavier to the program to break down what he thinks is going to happen. We'll talk projections. We'll talk thoughts. We'll understand and ask if he thinks folks will visit this community for that Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. You know, the top bar night of the year for most bars is the Wednesday evening before Thanksgiving. My brother, he dubbed it, he called it, he monikered and branded it Awkward Eve. The Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, when you run into that individual you knew from high school that you haven't spoken to outside of a couple of comments on Facebook, and next thing you know, you're having a Minuteman at 3-notch and having a conversation with someone you haven't seen in 20, 25 years. Awkward Eve. That is the top bar night from a revenue standpoint for most restaurants and bars in all of 2020. I truly thought it was New Year's Eve. I was wrong. Ask your local restaurateur what is the top bar night. Bar night. I'm talking about people elbow to elbow at a bar, enjoying booze, talking to strangers. It's Awkward Eve, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. If we don't have the impact of folks going out, and let's cut to the chase, we will not, what does that mean for Charlottesville and Central Virginia? That topic with André Xavier today on the I Love CVille show. I want to talk, real estate is a passion of mine. It's one of the ways we pay our bills. I see a trend that's happening that I want to highlight because I want to spotlight this trend and pass it along to you so you can use it as an opportunity. I'm also going to highlight this trend and spotlight it because if the trend continues, there is cause for concern. We'll get some intelligence from the distinguished gentleman Keith Smith of the Yes Team Realtors in about 6 minutes on the pinch or the lack of inventory in Charlottesville and Central Virginia's housing market and the impact this lack of inventory is having on you. On you. On you. You, and you, and Judah, myself, and our families. I'm going to read the statistic to you, and then let's take a deep dive into it. The inventory of homes for sale in our area remains persistently low and continues to shrink rapidly. There were 925 active listings at the end of third quarter, which was down 47% from this time last year. This is according to the Charlottesville Area Association of Realtors. So what does that mean? Well, it means this. If you're looking to sell your home now, or if you're looking to sell your home in the spring, you may consider having a sense of urgency, lighting a little fire under your butt, and getting the home on the market immediately. Because if you get the whip, if you get the crib on the market immediately, you're going to get top dollar. And why you're going to get top dollar if you get your crib on the market ASAP is because you have a lot less competition. Would Fried Chicken Alley, a.k.a. the Cock Block, a.k.a. that strip on Barracks Road and Route 29 that has like 6 fried chicken joints in a 1-mile spot? What is it? Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Popeyes, Raising Cane's. Am I missing any? The Cock Block is a competitive space. Fried Chicken Alley, as competitive a niche as you will find in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. 6 options in less than a mile in the heart of a town. If there was 2 options or 1 option, how would they perform? Less competition means more interest. More interest means more return on your investment. So if you're thinking about selling, do it now. How about if you're thinking about buying? Sure, the cost of living and the cost of home is going up because there's less competition, but that's counterbalanced with all-time low mortgage rates. And right now, as we head into the fourth quarter to finish an awful year, I think both buyers and sellers have opportunity before themselves. All-time low mortgage rates, very little competition from an inventory standpoint in the market. Short-term, buyers and sellers have opportunity. Buyers have purchasing power. Sellers have little competition, which means they may get more money for their house. Now, let's take a deeper dive and think long-term. What if this continues? What if COVID-19 and this pandemic, what if it continues to drive tailwinds or momentum behind the flight from urban or densely populated markets to more spread out suburban markets like Charlottesville and Central Virginia? What if graduates of the University of Virginia who are spread out all over the country making good money because they went 4 years at one of the best public schools in the world, and these graduates who are spread all over the country, hell, all over the world, they wax nostalgic and say, you know what? 2020's been brutal. Remember those 4 years in Charlottesville? They were special. I can work virtually from anywhere and still keep my paycheck. Why am I doing the hustle and bustle of Philly, Baltimore, Boston, New York, when I can do and earn this money sprawled out in a community that I spent 4 years in and had the best time of my life? I'm going to bring my big-time paycheck, sell my townhome, my apartment, or my brownstone, and I'm going to sprint to Central Virginia for a little bit more room, some quality of life, a backyard for Trey, a backyard for Taylor, and the same money I was earning in the Big Apple. What if that trend continues? It very well could. That's not hyperbole. That trend very well could continue. And if that trend continues, along with the pinch in inventory that we have, you know what's going to happen? Say it out loud. What's going to happen? Put it in the feed. What's going to happen? This place is going to get so freaking expensive to live in. The median sales price for a home in this region during the third quarter of this year was $327,000. Median sales price. Values upticked 7%. 7% year over year. Quick math. 7% on a $100,000 home, you make an extra $7K. $200,000 home, an extra $14K. $300,000 home, an extra $21K. $400,000 home, an extra $28K. $500,000 home, an extra $35K. $600,000 home, $42K. $700,000 home, $49K. $800,000 home, $56K. Your home's $1 million, you got an extra 70 G's. For living there because of COVID and because social behavior is changing at a rapid clip. Facts, 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 more facts. Get the Keith Smith sound ready to go. Please, Judah Wickhauer. Keith Smith, the Yes Team Realtors, A+ people, character, integrity, talent, deal maker, friend. Inventory pinch, Keith Smith. We talked about it. What's the impact it's having? What's the inventory pitch? How's it impacting things? Judah Wickhauer, 3, 2, and 1.
So one of the interesting things about this, and I wanted to take a little bit of a deeper dive into it by county breakdown and jurisdiction breakdown, but we talked about this a little bit on your noon show yesterday. The monthly supply of inventory is 1.9 months.
That's concerning.
Compared to last year, which was 4.2. So I don't have to do the math because they've done it for us. That's down 54.8%. So that's the issue. The issue is the lack of the inventory, and depending on who you talk to, some folks will say 90 days or 3 months and below, it's a seller's market. Some people will say closer to 4 months. So it really depends on who you talk to, but it's really dependent upon the actual market. So we talk about this all the time on the show. Real estate is basically 5 things, right? Location, price, features, condition, and we added a new one called time, because that 1.9 represents time.
Watch the trend. Watch the trend. Follow the trend. Want to sell a home? Do it now. You can make good money. Watch the trend. Does it go into Q2 next year? The spring buying season. Watch the trend. Watch what's happening. This is often your top asset in your portfolio. Get to know what's happening and how it applies to you. I'm curious of what's on André Xavier's brain. Love chatting with this guy. Judah, I'm reaching out to him now. I have him on the line. This guy's a tourism travel entrepreneur, talented individual. Judah's giving me the thumbs up. All right, before we talk shop, I want to do a deep dive on so much with you. How about all your various brands and businesses that are tied to the travel, tourism space? And then the second part, Andre, is the background before you became an entrepreneur of your vast experience in travel, tourism, and hotels as well.
All right. So thank you, Jerry. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. So start with the brands. So CVille Travel is our main brand, I would say. CVille Travel is my first business. We're a full-service travel agency. We're part of Virtuoso, so we're more upscale. We do more unique type of travel. Then I have CVille Tours, which is a local tour operator. We specialize in unique experiences in and around Charlottesville, all private tours. Then I have CVille Hop-On Tours, which is a partnership between myself and John Craig, which we are a local tour operator specialized in craft beverage tours and also a transportation company. And then I also have CVille Tours, which is my wedding transportation brand, where I provide bus transportation for weddings. Those are our main brands that we're currently operating right now. And they're all tied into travel, tours, and weddings in Charlottesville, of course. Before being an entrepreneur myself, I spent my career in hotels. So I'm a former hotel manager. Before coming to the US, I'm originally from Brazil, I worked for Silver Sea Cruises. So I was in the cruise industry for about 4.5 years, traveled the world extensively. Then came to Charlottesville to work at the Clifton Inn. Did my internship there. When I left, I was their front office manager. Went to Keswick Hall, which I was there for about 5.5 years. When I left, I was their director of guest services. I went to the Four Seasons in Georgetown in Washington, D.C. I was their hotel manager for about 1.5 years. And that's when I realized how awesome Charlottesville is and how much I really want to come back and start my businesses here. So I came back, and that's been almost 9.5 years ago.
Okay, so there's 3 things to take from this right here. André Xavier, A, is completely all in on travel, tourism, and hospitality. 100% all in the pot. 2, this man is vastly experienced. I would say one of the most experienced people in this region when it comes to travel, tourism, hospitality, and hotels. And 3, this man is aging exceptionally well because he looks like he's 25 years old right now, but he just outlined decades of experience in this industry. So the man is aging well. All right, so let's get a deep dive here. Open-ended question. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Q4, holiday season, Charlottesville and Central Virginia first. Anywhere you want to go.
Absolutely. So let's start with Hop On, which is the business that get a really good pulse on the Charlottesville market. So for Hop On, we were closed during the pandemic, March, April, May, June. When we came back, we're seeing a huge demand for our product, which in a way is surprising and pleased because we offer a public option, right? So we are with people that you do not know. But I believe our precautions in terms of COVID, the way we're putting the buses together, the groups together, the sanitization of the buses, the mask mandatory, all that in place really inspire confidence. So we're very thankful for our customers. So we are selling out consistently on Saturdays, especially so our booking window is about 2 to 3 weeks now. So it's reduced a little bit. Before our booking window was about a month out. Now we're seeing 2 weeks. So it's kind of interesting to see that people are waiting to book, right? They're not booking as far as in advance. But we're sold out this Saturday. We're sold out almost sold out next Saturday. So the demand is very high. And we're also seeing a huge demand at our local partners on Route 151, Crozet. So the places are busy. We're seeing a lot of people looking for that outdoor experience. So that being said, now winter's coming, right? And I think we're all, when I say all, I believe I can speak for our partners, we are all in the mindset that what is going to happen. Half of us are thinking that could be another lockdown. Half of us are thinking it might be too cold for people to be outside, right? So definitely we're being very conservative on the sense that we are confident, we're positive, but at the same time, we're being very careful on our spending, and we'll make sure that we're protecting our assets at this time. So I do see a trend of holiday travel locally. So, and also with my travel agency, I'm seeing a similar trend. The few clients that I do have traveling right now, they are going within driving distance. People are kind of staying within 5-6 hours drive of Charlottesville. Definitely very few clients are traveling internationally. And the ones they're going to Mexico. Let's say Mexico is the only place that people are going right now, looking for a warm kind of escape. But that being said, for the holiday travels, I think we're seeing a huge decline on travel necessarily. I think, some of the numbers I've been looking at, about 40% of the travelers are traveling. So instead of 100%, normally about 80 to 90% people will be traveling during Thanksgiving and Christmas season. Now we're down to 40. So I think people are looking to stay close to home, which in a way benefits Charlottesville as a destination.
Okay, a lot I want to throw to you here. When does all right, let's talk Christmas and Thanksgiving first. So if we are uncertain what's going to happen over the next 45 days, which are an important 45 days for the community, what do you think the market is going to do? I think Central Virginia, and I'm a layman, you're the expert here, you got a lot of outside stuff to do. You got the university, which is appealing, especially since a lot of people went there and they want to come back. You got your friends on 151 with the wineries and the breweries, although the cold element's an issue. You do have a pedestrian mall, although let's be honest, there's a lot of vacancies out here, so that doesn't have quite the appeal it used to have. What do you think is going to happen in this area first for Thanksgiving and Christmas?
I think confident say Thanksgiving, we were going to see good number of visitors. I think people are still coming. I was just looking at our books for Hop On. Again, we're not completely sold out yet for the weekend after Thanksgiving. Too early to tell. But I think we're going to see visitors coming in for Thanksgiving kind of time frame because of where Charlottesville is a very good location, geographically speaking, for Northern Virginia, for even folks from South Carolina, the Virginia Beach area, Richmond area to come. So I think we're going to see some business on that sense. So restaurants, hotels, they will benefit from that, not to the level that we normally would see, but I think we're going to see some action. Christmas, a little harder to predict right now. We keep looking at Europe, so we're looking at what's happening over there. So, and as we know from, the spring season, what happens there kind of transfers and replicates here a few months later. So Christmas, I think that's when we're starting to be a little more concerned on what's going to happen in terms of, changes on restrictions.
Because you're saying England's on lockdown.
England's locked down. France has curfew. Italy just announced some lockdowns in different regions. So yes, Europe in general, we're seeing a lot of restrictions being put in place as of now.
Do you think, is the expectation that spring 2021 is going to be absolutely bananas? Is that the hope, or is that like what you think is actually going to happen? There's two different things there.
Right. So going back to the booking window, right? So we are seeing that few people are booking right now, right? So even though hotels, airlines, cruise lines are being very aggressive with their offers in terms of flexibility, that you can book now and cancel 48 hours before the trip and get a refund. So they're being aggressive, but I don't think the demand is quite there yet. I think everyone's waiting to see what happens. Election, I think, has a huge impact on decision making. So we're all waiting to see what happens, right? But I believe, based on what I'm seeing right now in terms of election, is we may see a lot of helicopter money coming in.
What does that mean?
Next year. Helicopter money is government stimulus. I think we're going to see a lot of stimulus, a lot of money coming in for businesses, a lot of money coming in as a stimulus. So I think that will stimulate the economy next year. So I am very confident that 2021 will be a great year for businesses on the travel industry. I think it'll be a great year for our restaurants. I think we're going to see business coming back as early as the end of the second quarter, let's say next year. Because I think winter is the challenge, right? Winter is how can we survive winter?
Yeah, he's 100% right. It's like getting to like March, 100% right. How does a place with Charlottesville that has some strong hotels, how does a hotel business stay in operation at the number of occupancy rate that it's at now? I mean, what is the standard occupancy rate right now in Charlottesville hotels?
For Charlottesville, if we didn't have COVID, we'd probably be looking at about 80 to 85% occupancy at this time, right? Fall is peak for us, so that will be the average. I think right now we are probably under 60, maybe 50% occupancy. And what's driving that is the weekends. Weekends, we are busy. Weddings are happening, so we do have business during the weekends. The challenge is the weekday, which has always been a challenge for us as a destination. But what happens to the hotels is truly, you reduce staff members, right? You run a skeleton crew. That's what you do. The same front desk agent is the reservations agent and is the concierge. The sales officer person is one person doing everything. So you just reduce the staffing, which sadly translates into loss of jobs, right? So again, the challenge as a business is how do you survive those few months to come on the winter? Because you're right, if you can make through March, you'll be okay, right? So it's just a matter of survival right now.
What would be the advice you offer leadership in the community for stimulating the economy safely through travel and tourism?
So I believe it's important for businesses to really enforce and implement safety protocols in terms of COVID, because that will give confidence to the consumer to visit those locations. Again, I give Hop-On as an example, because if you ask anyone, the concept of a public tour sounds really scary, but we've been able and to prove that if you put procedures and protocols in place, you can have a sustainable, safe environment for your clients. So I'd say for restaurants, the same thing, just enforce the COVID procedures, make it safe. Hotels are doing a great job already because there are travelers looking for destinations right now within driving distance of their market. And Charlottesville can greatly benefit from it.
Very nice. All right, surviving winter. Any advice to those that are watching besides hoard cash?
Right. No, I'd say truly is watch your expenses. Try to save money. As I said, hoard cash right now. Do not make any large purchases at this time, and just wait and see what's going to happen. Right. So that's the only thing can be done.
Do you think? Last question for you here. What's the Charlottesville economy look like come March?
So, I'm sorry, what is Charlottesville?
What do you think the Charlottesville, Central Virginia economy looks like come March?
Economy. Again, it will depend on the election results. I truly believe that if we have stimulus, if we have government money coming in, business will be able to survive and thrive comes next year. But if we do not have any government assistance, I think we'll be, we're seeing more closures. We're going to see more businesses going away.
Andre, thank you. You're a smart guy. André Xavier, I'm grateful. Thank you for coming on the show.
Appreciate it, Jerry. Bye.
Love André Xavier right there. What do you guys think? Put the comments in the comment section. Share the feed. Like the show. This is what I would like to see. I would like to see our local government, and I've said this in the past, prioritize some kind of outdoor or sporting event initiative for next year. Some kind of regional outdoor tournament that attracts people for a long weekend, gets them in the rooms, maybe a Thursday night booking, soccer, racket sport, something maybe tied with the university, maybe something tied with SACA, the soccer organization, Charlottesville Albemarle. Maybe it's like a regional tournament of some kind. Charlotte, North Carolina has tournaments like this. Richmond does. That would do some things in a safe, COVID outside way, while also driving revenue locally to a business, to a municipality in a region that needs, obviously, new revenue sources. That's what I would like to see happen. Some kind of summer, fall, soccer, sporting event tournament regionally that attracts a lot of people. That's what I would really, really like to see happen. I want to welcome Kelly Jackson to see how she's going to handle the holidays here in a matter of moments. Before we do, why don't we give some love to Scott Wagner, Judah. Scott Wagner, chiropractic and sports medicine. Dr. Wagner is changing people's lives. They are open. Judah, let's hear from Dr. Wagner and Dr. Sterling from their office as we speak. Judah Wickower, 3, 2, and 1.
Hi, I'm Dr. Scott Wagner.
And I'm Dr. Mitchell Sterling. We are open and here to help you at Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine.
During this crisis, chiropractic plays a crucial role in your healthcare. If you're healthy, we want to see you. If you're hurting, we're happy here to help you.
We are following CDC guidelines and allowing our patients to have a parking lot waiting room. During this time of need, please continue to consider us as your healthcare resource.
And remember, we've got your back.
Well, Kelly Jackson on the line. I'm very excited for KJ, co-star of Women Changing Our World. She's going to join us for 5 big things with Kelly. She is live from her daughter's room, where I think she's booted her from geography class. Or actually, knowing your daughter, it's probably like AP Calculus. Is that what you're booted her from? How are you, Kelly?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. We were spitballing back and forth here. Family, holidays, COVID. What do we do, Kelly?
Stay at home. Don't come to my house. Well, we just had my in-laws in town from Oklahoma. They said they wanted to come visit us. And I said, okay, well, you can't stay in hotels and you can't get on an airplane. And they were like, okay. So I get a call the next day that they rented an RV. So I made them quarantine at home for 7 days. And then they quarantined in their RV and drove here.
How do they handle that?
Good. I mean, they, I guess, like camping. And then I knew I was safe, right? Because they hadn't been around anybody in 10 days. But no, I'm not letting anyone come into my house for my holidays. And if I was going to, I would insist on a COVID test.
Okay, so how would you ask that? How would you have that conversation?
My door is always open, only if you show me the paperwork that you got a negative COVID test.
There you go. Kelly needs to see the paperwork. You want the paperwork.
Absolutely, I want the paperwork. I don't trust anybody, Jerry. People say they're quarantined, and then I see on their Facebook post that they're at a bar. I'm like, that's not quarantine. You're insane. No.
You're a businesswoman. You're a mom. You're a part-time teacher and educator in a lot of ways with 2 daughters living from home. You're a dog lover. You got a lot going on right here. The holidays in this area. Thoughts on the holidays?
I think people are sick of being at home. The weather's cold. They're going to be sick of being inside. I think people are going to travel. I think people are just going to throw caution to the wind and say, well, if we get it, we get it.
I think she's right. I think that's what's going to happen as well. I really do think people are going to get in their cars and they're going to do these 2 to 4, 5-hour trips. I think that's what's going to happen as well, Kelly. You guys are staying in the area, though. You guys are not. Well, your parents are in the area. You're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the area and they're quarantined. Like, they don't leave their house at all. They're older, you know? So we can still see them. So they'll be over for Thanksgiving and Christmas. But no, that's it. And then I'm running into the problem, Jerry. I told you this earlier. I literally have nothing to buy my kids for Christmas.
What?
I have not one thing. They each have iPads. They have iPhones. They have laptops. They have desktop computers. Like, what more do we need?
What are you going to get them?
I have no idea.
Well, you got them a dog.
I just got him a new puppy, but they're like, oh, well, that's not for Christmas. I was like, ugh. So.
Is it your daughter's dog or is it Kelly's dog?
Well, it was supposed to be my daughter's dog. Guess whose dog is it?
Well, it's Kelly's dog. When did they stop taking the dog out?
They never started.
They never started?
No. Ugh. So I don't know. I think I usually buy them like experiences for Christmas, like camps or a shopping trip or like a trip to DC. We can't do that. So I don't know. If you have any suggestions, I'm thinking a 4-wheeler.
A 4-wheeler? Good Lord. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
For both of them to ride?
Yeah.
What does your man think about that?
Of course, he's the one that wants it.
Oh, okay. So this is a gift for Adam.
Right, but we're going to say it's for the
Well, it's like the dog. Maybe all the Christmas gifts for their daughters go to Kelly and Adam. I love that. I love that. How are your daughters doing with virtual learning?
Good. My youngest has a personal teacher that she Zooms with like 3 other kids in this pod. She's supposed to be in 1st grade, but because of all the individualized attention, she's in 2nd grade.
What?
So where does that put us for next year? I don't know.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know. I guess it depends on COVID, right? But this is interesting. Her teacher is making almost twice as much money doing this private teaching than she did in classroom teaching. So she's never going to go back.
So you really don't think she'll go back?
No. I mean, now you're making twice as much money.
And she's teaching less kids.
Way less kids, and it's half day. Half the time, twice the money.
Wow. That right there is a business right there. Do you think she has thought about the retirement aspect? Okay. So I was just talking about as far as getting her years in the school system.
No, I don't think she's going to go back to the school system.
Man, crazy COVID changing the world. Changing the world with one of your favorite things to do, movies as well.
I love to go to the movies. I am very nervous that we're not going to have a movie theater in Charlottesville if COVID keeps continuing. How can you survive, right? Like Alamo, they were like, you can rent out your own theater for $150.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Why not?
You are? Are you doing it?
Sure. I'm going to do it. And we've done it before for holiday parties for my business, and it's awesome. So I'll probably just rent one out, get some of my other friends who are pretty quarantined. Everyone gets their own row, like 4 spaced apart. We'll watch a holiday movie.
Would you make them get COVID tests before they go into the theater?
No, because I know these families and they're more like quarantined like us, but they sure aren't sitting in the same row as I am.
Okay, that's true. Because
5 rows behind.
Oh, when are you going to do that?
I don't know.
I think you just committed to doing it.
I'm doing it. Why not do it? You can come, Jerry. You can bring your family and sit 5 rows behind.
I learned on Women Changing Our World that parents don't like the kids of other parents. So you want me to bring my kids to the movie theater because the co-star of Women Changing Our World, Kelly Jackson, said, I don't like other kids.
Jerry, you have to admit that's true. As a parent, you tolerate other people's children, but you don't really like them. Right?
You gotta have one of your daughter's friends that you look at almost like a third daughter. Is that not true?
No, that is true. There's like one.
Okay, and all the other ones you do not like?
It's not that I don't like them. I tolerate them. But you do what you have to do as a parent, Jerry. When your son gets older, you're going to be like, oh, here's little Jimmy again. Can't he eat dinner at his own house? Like,
You're basically saying I'm not worn down as much yet because my kid's 2.5. Is that basically what you're saying there? I think that's what
exactly
you're saying.
I'm saying.
Oh my gosh. What's the plan for dude, Monday show? Listen to this. Monday show.
Yeah.
Kelly and Jamie have big time guests. Tell us about Monday show.
Monday show, we have the first ever woman NFL coach in history. She worked defense with the Cardinals.
That's amazing.
Right?
How did you get that guest?
Okay, this is something I learned at an early age from my father. If you don't ask, the answer is always going to be a no. So I just send these people, all of our amazing guests, I just send them an email and ask them to be on. And they say yes. I don't know why. They've lost their mind. But I'm happy they say yes.
She is the first female coach in NFL history on her show Monday, 10:15 a.m. on this network on the Women Changing Our World Facebook page. The guest she just had on her Monday show, spotlight what just happened on Monday.
On Monday, her name is Jamie, and her partner run a farm animal sanctuary. And we interviewed her, and so far on our interview Monday, we have almost 12,000 views.
Amazing. Amazing. This is goats, right?
Well, goats, chickens, ducks, donkeys, pigs.
How did you get that guest?
I love you. I think you're so funny on your Facebook page. Do you want to come on my show?
Oh, that is amazing. That show was A+. How's your girl Schwartz doing?
Jamie's good. She's rolling out some new things at Picasso Swig. She has this wine club that's awesome. So we're drinking a lot of wine, of course.
Well, that's every day.
Every day, fine. I know. Jerry, so are you going to travel for Christmas?
Well, my in-laws are coming to us for Thanksgiving. And then
Right,
Christmas, we're thinking about possibly making a push to my wife's family in Long Island. But that's still uncertain and up in the air. I mean, I feel like it's so hard to predict what we're going to do like a month and a half from now because like every day we wake up, it's like something completely different. Like, for instance, Connecticut a few months ago was killing it. Now Connecticut is like going back in phases from 3 to 2.5 because they're not killing it anymore. Like, who's to say what's going to happen after Thanksgiving? Like, what could Thanksgiving be like? What was the holiday where COVID spiked? It was the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah, could that be with Thanksgiving?
Jerry, get your flu shot.
I have my flu shot. Did you get your flu shot?
What? Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Okay, good. I'm going to get my flu shot too. You're awesome. We will tune into you on Monday. Thank you for joining us, Kelly. Great guest.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
You have a good one.
I will see you Monday.
Sounds good, Kelly. Kelly Jackson, Women Changing Our World, 10:15 a.m. on this network. The first female coach in NFL history, Arizona Cardinals, is coming on their show on Monday. That is bona fide and legit. Very well done, ladies. And speaking of football, a couple of items out of the notebook. The UVA game against Louisville for Saturday has been rescheduled, and there's already conversation being had that this game could potentially not be made up. The rescheduled game from this Saturday is the following Saturday. Louisville has to have a lot of things go their way with clearance and COVID for the game to be played a week from Saturday. So if it's not played on November 14th, this game could be potentially canceled, or because both teams are struggling from a win-loss record, be moved to December 19th, the day of the ACC Championship. The ACC is having the conversation if it should have rescheduled games on the 19th, the same day as the ACC Championship due to COVID. Also, Clemson and Notre Dame. Number 1, Clemson, they're 7-0. At number 4, Notre Dame, this Saturday night. It's the premier matchup in college football. The top 2 teams from the ACC. Clemson is a 5.5-point favorite in South Bend. The over-under 51.5 points. And lastly, folks, Liberty and Virginia Tech. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Liberty is the ranked team. Virginia Tech is unranked. Liberty, 25 in the country. The Hokies, unranked. 12 o'clock kick, ACC Network. Virginia Tech, a heavy favorite. 14.5 points, over-under at 67 and change. Virginia Tech is 4-2 overall. The Hokies very much in the thick of things. You've got to think, either Clemson or Notre Dame are going to lose. If Clemson's the number 1 team, clear-cut talent top team, right? If Notre Dame loses, they get 1 loss. The Hokies have 2. So things could crumble. The cookie could crumble if Notre Dame gets a second loss, first loss to Clemson, another loss later in the season. The cookie could crumble where Virginia Tech could have a chance of going to the ACC Championship if they don't lose any more ball games. So follow that story closely. Save $288 on Ting Fiber Internet. Let them know how, Judah. iloveseville.ting.com. Use iloveseville.ting.com to get the best internet in our area for the lowest price possible, a $288 savings. Guys, I close each day with the I Love CVille Daily Digest. It's the entire show in 5 minutes or less, 5 days a week. At 5 o'clock, it's the I Love CVille Daily Digest, 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday. Now, for my final thoughts, I want to give some props to Angelique Hawkins-Jenkins. Angelique Hawkins-Jenkins is the owner of Angelique's. She was the human resource director of the DoubleTree. She is vivacious, entrepreneurial, enterprising. Angelique takes risk. She's beautiful. She's a people person. Angelique Hawkins-Jenkins understands marketing and branding. 20 years, she was the director of human resources at the DoubleTree by Hilton. She's building a brand in Angelique's that went from a food trailer on Pantops at the base of Pantops by Freebridge. She's still got the trailer there, and she's about to open a food stall in Dairy Market. Angelique Hawkins-Jenkins is the definition of hard work, taking a little bit of risk, using some sweat equity to build your own very own version of the American dream. Human resource director, I have a passion for cooking and being around people. I'm going to open up a food trailer and call it Angelique's after myself. My logo is going to be a version of me. I'm going to cook food that's priced fairly, served quickly, and offer with a smile. Now, a short time away from opening up a food stall in Dairy Market. That is the American dream. And I want to close with some positivity and some hope for everyone out there. Angelique Hawkins-Jenkins, job well done. Take care, guys.